What's up friends, hope you're doing well. Sometimes we blame booms and dooms of the market for causing our accounts being blown up. Or we complain about our strategy that does not work properly and brings us just huge losses, even though we set our stop loss. So what's wrong? What is the problem? Keep watching to get your answer and save your account. It doesn't matter how much a better strategy you have. If you don't manage the risk of your trades, more likely finally you will have your account blown up. Two very important points there are that you should and must consider, especially when it comes to small accounts. Number one, first of all, before opening any position, you should determine that how much or what percent of your current capital you are going to put in risk. 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, or what? How much? If you take 4% for example, it just needs 25 trades of loss continuously for your account to be called. How much the percent comes down, on the other hand, a bigger chance your account has to survive. I myself take a risk of 1.5 to 2%. That makes more sense and gives me a high opportunity to do more trades before being liquidated, especially if I have a small account. The ones who have big accounts can add the risk up to 3%. The second point, which is interconnected with the previous one, is risk to reward ratio. When your amount of risk being specified, for example 2%, then according to that, you should set your stop loss. There is something very important here that you must consider. Sometimes may happens that after setting up your stop loss according to the risk percent, the risk to reward ratio comes below the 1. What should we do then? Well, that's very easy. Without any thinking, ignore such positions. Generally, our stop loss should be compatible with risk amount. And besides, risk to reward ratio should be at least about 1. And if it would be around 2 and above, then it will be much better. The two mentioned conditions are required and essential. Final word, ignore and avoid all positions which the risk to reward ratio is below 1 or the amount of stop loss is not compatible with the risk amount. Here are some examples that will make more sense. Our default values are risk amount is 2%, risk to reward ratio is between 1 and 2, and our capital is $500. Well, now let's calculate our risk amount. 2% multiply 500 equals $10. Our risk amount is $10. Means that in a single trade up to $10 we can set our stop loss and risk our capital. Now look at this example. XAUUSD gold at time frame 15 minutes. Below this box, which acting as a support level, we want to put a short position. Well, let me put the entry below the close of this candle. Stop loss should be above these two highs. Then, by considering risk to reward ratio of 1.5, which we have taken optionally, we determine our take profit. Now we should check the two required conditions. First, risk to reward ratio that should be above 1, and that meets the requirement. Here the risk to reward ratio is 1.5. The second condition, amount of risk. Before the example, we determined that up to $10 we can risk. Now let's calculate within this example. Despite the fact that we have used the minimum lot size here and the value per pips of 1 cent, again our risk amount is $13. That's more than $10 and it's not acceptable. So we ignore this position even if it would be executed with profit. According to our risk management, we are not allowed to risk more than what is specified. In the next example, we have a long position. The entry should be around 1791. Stop loss can be around this low, around 1782. And finally, our take profit can be here around 1802. Well, now let's check the requirements. Risk to reward ratio is 1.21 and that's okay, which is more than 1. And our risk amount here is $8.77. which is less than $10, and that's cool. So we can have this position and there is no problem, according to our risk conditions. I hope that you have used what has been said in this video and pay more attention to risk management. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel please and hit that like button. Have a good time. See you soon.